Hello, everyone. You're watching Let's Talk About Prepping. I'm Tyler, your host, taking a walk at the beach, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the wisdom of prepping in 2020. I want to thank any of you who have joined recently. I know I've got a lot of people who have joined up who probably are not familiar with the concept of prepping. And in this video, I want to frame it in a way that makes it make sense to everybody. And to start that off, I want to present a philosophical religious concept that is often titled as Pascal's wager. Now, I want to make it clear that I'm not making a religious argument here. It's just a philosophical approach that makes a lot of sense here. And it goes like this. In the religious context, the wager is that whether or not you believe in God, if you weigh the risk benefit ratio of the two beliefs, you find that believing in God has a much higher payoff than not believing in God in either situation. If God isn't real and you believe in God, you lose almost nothing unless you feel that you would spend something that you lose by believing in God. But if God is real and you don't believe in Him, well, depending on what the result of that is, you might be in for a long and unpleasant time as opposed to an eternally happy time. And so, from a purely cynical perspective, you could say it's wiser to just believe in God. Now, there's a lot of counter philosophical debate to that. And we won't get into that here because you've probably already seen the correlation I'm going to make. Depending on what you put into prepping, how crazy you get about it, there's very little that it costs you. In fact, in a lot of ways, it benefits your life in the meantime. Now, if you should be prepping, for instance, if something really bad's going to happen and you can't get food or toilet paper or whatever, then prepping is a very, very good idea that will pay off immensely. And not prepping, well, that's going to put you in for maybe not as long of a bad time as going to hell, but it might feel like it for the short time you're going through it. So, purely from the perspective of, can I prepare in little ways that cost me almost nothing, but will benefit me immensely if something bad ever happens? Yes, you absolutely can. When you look at the opposite ratio, is there a chance that bad things will happen that I should probably do something to prepare for? That's also yes. So, even if we're not looking at crazy end of the world scenarios and zombies and things like that, I think we can all agree with how 2020 is going, that there are some things that we can do for ourselves to make ourselves a little more comfortable when uncomfortable things happen. So, whether or not you've been preparing for the future in non-traditional ways, I suppose you could say, or whether you've been a prepper for a while, I hope that 2020 and maybe this conversation has got you thinking a little bit more about what you can do to ensure that your lifestyle remains as close to what you want it to be, no matter what happens. Because the fact that in 2020 we're all still blindly relying on the system and strangers we've never met to provide for our daily comforts and our daily needs, it's getting a little sillier and sillier every single day. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well out there. Hope you'll all stick around for some more discussion on the crazy, crazy world that we live in and what we can do to help ourselves get by a little better in it. Hope you're all doing well out there and everybody stay safe.